It would be an unpardonable omission to attempt a sketch of military interventions in Nigeria's political evolution without an appraisal of the role of General Ibrahim Babangida. He is recorded in history as an active participant in all of Nigeria's successful coup d'etat up till the 27th of August 1985, when he led a group of military officers to sack the government of his commander-in-chief, General Muhammadu Buhari, in a bloodless palace coup.
We have come with the strongest determination to create an atmosphere in which positive efforts shall be given the necessary support for lasting solutions. For matters of the moment which require immediate resolution, we intend to pursue a determined program of action, and indeed future generations have no other country but Nigeria. We must all stay and salvage it together.
The events which followed the overthrow of the Buhari-Idiagbo military government after only 605 days are generally characteristic of military dictatorships. But essentially and uniquely, Babangida's body language since he took over the reins of power in 1985 up till 1993, when he was forced out of office by popular agitation, showed General Babangida as a soldier who loved power and would do everything necessary to consolidate his hold on power. General Babangida is recorded in history as Nigeria's first and only military president. As a military president, General Babangida embarked on an unprecedented political reform program with a firm promise to the nation that he would hand over to a democratically elected government in late October 1990. This promise was never fulfilled. Rather, history records General Babangida as bequeathing to the nation a checkered political experience which left the people despondent and edged the nation to a precipice.
And it is with a deep sense of responsibility that once again I accept the challenge to serve as the head of the interim national government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today's historic event testifies eloquently to our enduring capacity as a nation to fashion out our solutions to problems arising from our peculiar circumstances. Thus, that we are innovating with the interim government, following closely on the heels of the Transitional Council, should reassure us all of our ability to bounce back, even when it appears we are moving dangerously close to the brink. The task, ladies and gentlemen, before the interim national government is enormous. Primarily, we must successfully complete the political transition program which has been in progress since the inception of the Babangida administration.
The Babangida political transition timetable started with the setting up of a National Electoral Commission. Although the commission recommended 6 political associations for transformation to political parties, General Babangida set aside its recommendations and decreed to existence 2 political parties: the Social Democratic Party, with a social welfarist ideology referred to by its creators as a little to the left, and the National Republican Convention, with a capitalist ideology fondly referred to as a little to the right. The nation was taken through a mesh of realignments as the government of General Babangida weaved its political transition program around the 2 creations of the same government. History records General Babangida as conducting legislative and governorship elections in the state to score another first as Nigeria's only hybrid political system ever, with civilians in governance at state levels and a military maximum ruler holding sway at the national level. A suspicious but hopeful populace was dazed when General Babangida altered his own political transition program. On September 23, 1987, General Babangida announced a shift in the handover date from October 1990 to October 1992. Hopes were dashed, frustration set in, and a suspicious nation began to doubt the sincerity of General Babangida and the credibility of his political transition program.
The military operates on the basis of a command structure. They are not used to their fears being pried into. They would rather you obey as against you asking, why are these things being done. So military rule is totally, antithetical to the concept or to the idea of press freedom. They will only grant press freedom as long as it suits their purpose. So I think that the series of clashes that we had really was as a result, of this. Because, when the military came, they said, we are on a redemptive mission. We know all the answers to all the problems. But the media just said, look, we actually know the answers because we are the mirror of the society. This is what, the society would, want the military to do. The society will want a return to civil rule. Don't forget that the Buhari regime didn't even have any transition program. There was no program of return to civil rule. When Babangida came, it had a program, but the program kept running and running and running. And again, the media said, we need to put a halt, to this. So that created problem. And then June 12 was annulled. And the media said, this annulment ought not to be. It must be reversed. That led, to a bigger clash. And then Abacha came, and killed June 12 entirely. And the media insisted that this process must not be killed. So, when you look at all these instances, it was inevitable that you were going to have, these clashes. And I think that the media has really, paid, huge prices, for the stand it has taken, in defense of its mandate, which is just that, look, government must be accountable to the people.
The import of Babangida's body language was beginning to climax. General Babangida left the nation on a cliffhanger and continued with his political program. The whispers from the general populace became louder, and the Babangida political rigmarole was clearly dubbed a manipulation designed to hoodwink the nation and perpetuate himself in power. The growing public disaffection was deepened when Babangida, in furtherance of his political reforms, embarked on an unprecedented political reforms excursion. Babangida looked perhaps on the wrong side of the political crystal ball and thought that the problems on the landscape had been created by the old bands of politicians. He started a process of political confusion by banning and unbanning certain categories of politicians. Babangida further confused an already stunned nation when he banned those categories of politicians again. As a result of the sliding credibility of all government actions, his Attorney General, Bola Ajibola, staked his reputation in 1989 that Babangida would hand over in 1992. On this score, Babangida is recorded in history as not living up to his own words or those of his government.
The military's problem is that they have strayed into governance, so we have confusion and trouble.
Rather, an amorphous group, the Association for Better Nigeria, ABN, urged General Babangida to continue in office. The general ignored the association, so to speak, and went ahead with plans to hold the presidential election. On the rebound, this amorphous body secured a midnight court injunction stopping the election on the eve of the same election.
And when Babangida realized that the game was up, that the people voted voluntarily, that the people voted in an atmosphere of peace, totally devoid of any rancor, totally devoid of any breach of the peace,